we have been like talking about doing a Zoom for so long and just decided that we'll just like join our teams together and just kind of all bounce off each other. I feel like the three of us work very similarly, so I'm really excited about that. We're going to start off by just telling a little bit about each of us because I'm here with a lot of my team and you guys probably don't know me and then my team might not know them. So we'll just start off from the top. So I'm Julia and I'm a triple diamond. I've been in the business for over 4 years now. We're coming up on 5. So I got started for like almost 5 years ago. I was in college full time. I had 3 jobs and I was super busy. And I know a lot of you guys started like that. If you are working a job right now while also working your business, drop it in the chat and let me know. But I was super busy, you guys. Like I can remember that it was when we were aiming for diamond. By the way, Bria, are you recording yet? Because now is a good time to start. Okay, you are. That's when we had the $20,000 diamond bonus. And I was like, holy cow, I have got to get that because if I get that, like I can quit my jobs. And so that was my main focus. And I can remember like being in college where I was like asking to go to the bathroom so I could like send voice notes and texts and things like that. And I was just like fitting it into the pockets of my day. And within 3 months, I did go diamond and get the $20,000 bonus. And I just kind of at that point, I made a decision and I was like, I'm just going to quit all 3 jobs and go all in with this and finish up school. And that's what I did. And I haven't looked back since. This has been my only job since then. And so that was a really big risk to take. But I feel like when you just make a decision like that, it changes everything. And so in the last 4.5 years of doing this, I've literally had so much life happen to me. I got within the business, time being in the business, I have moved probably 10 times. I got married, I got divorced, I moved across the country. I've traveled all over the world. Like I've done so many different things. And the only constant in the last 4.5 years, like the only thing that has stayed the same is this business. And so I'm forever grateful for the chance that I took when I started. I was pretty skeptical. Like I'm sure if you're a newbie and you're still a little bit skeptical, drop it in the comments, let us know. But I was a little bit skeptical in the beginning. And I think that that's a natural human thing, that this is something that is so exciting. And from the outside in, it can look too good to be true. And I had a little bit of that like on the forefront of my mind. And so once I got past that, I got my first check. I was like, all right, I'm sold. And I've just been full force ever since. So I'm really excited to talk with you guys about how I've used social media. I am someone who uses completely social media. I don't really do any face-to-face. I've done a couple parties and things like that, but I am a much better like bubbly person on the computer on social media than I am face-to-face. I just get anxious and it's a whole hot mess. So I love social media. I'm super excited to have Brittani and Lauren. I'm not sure who wants to go next, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'll go.
Okay.
Hey everyone. So my name is Lauren. I am a double diamond. I've been in the business for a little over 2 years now. I joined as I was graduating. I had just graduated my undergrad and I was getting my master's. And so I did this while getting my master's. I am graduated now, but in 4 months I hit diamond and then maintained that month 7. Oh, before that, I joined when we had ruby bonuses and emerald bonuses. And so that was really cool. It was like $1,000 and then like 5,000 for emerald. And so when I joined, like that was like Julia was saying, like that bonus was kind of like my focus. They don't have those for like the like first ranks anymore, but they might bring them back. So maybe, and anyway, keep chasing because the bigger ones are always like worth it too. And you have to hit the small ones first. So that really motivated me a lot. And then I went to conference for the first time about 7 months like into my business, was super excited. I was about to hit double. And then after conference, the whole team quit and it was really fun. Luckily though, you guys, I was working my business super hard and have always been someone that's like kind of taken it upon myself to run my business. And so I never lost rank. I actually, without a working team for 3 to 4 months was still maintaining diamond. So do your work, ladies. I promise it'll like it'll sustain you. So then actually at conference was when I started talking to Brittani, who's on this Zoom now. She is my downline, and we're actually the same rank now. She has like completely changed my business. And so I would say the biggest game changer for me was just realizing that you can do this over and over and over again. I think Jade Hooper said it at conference the first time. You're never really like rebuilding, like you're just doing it like the same thing every day. Like you don't look at it like your team falling apart and you're having to rebuild. Like this is part of the job, and it's just the consistency of doing it every single day. So now I am 2 years in, living in Denver with my husband, just moved here all because of this business. I did have another part-time job, and then COVID hit, couldn't do that anymore. And so I unintentionally started doing this full time. I really liked what I got my degree in, and I really liked my job. But once I took this on full time and like the freedom of like actually doing it 24 hours a day, like it can't be replaced. So I am 100% full time in this now too. So that's a little bit about me.
I love that. That's awesome. Okay, let's hear from Britt.
Hello, you guys. I'm Brittani. I'm a double diamond. I am Lauren's downline. And okay, so how long have I been in the business? I've been in business for about a year and a half. I joined in February of 2019, so the very end of February. And honestly, you guys, my story, I didn't take my business seriously until probably conference. Conference was really the game changer for me. Conference was the reason I joined. So I joined because I watched Lauren go. I didn't really take anything that she was like talking to me about seriously until I watched her go to conference. Cause this girl comes in my DMs and is like, I make a full-time income from social media. And I was like, I know you're lying to me. And she wasn't. So I watched her go to conference, and then that's when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this. This has always been a dream of mine, like to be able to work from social media. I've always loved social media. I've been on social media literally basically my whole life. I'm a millennial, so it's kind of a thing. And you guys, I didn't take my business seriously until it really started to become a reality that it could be my full-time income, because Lauren would constantly be like, dude, you just need to freaking pull your big girl pants up and do it. And it wasn't until I went to conference, they announced the diamond and above bonuses, which diamond was 15,000, double was 20,000, and then VIP and above was like 35 or some crazy shit like that. And so you guys, the bonuses are exciting. Diamond bonus right now is $8,000, y'all. Like, and that's paid out in full. Okay. Like that's insane. So that is a game changer. Realistically, conference. Okay. You guys, if you haven't bought your conference ticket, even if you buy the cheapest one, you guys, you're getting codes. You're getting codes to build your business. Okay. It's going to pay you back tenfold, because each of those DTs that you sign and you help get their shopping spree, that's $150. You've already made your profit back from the cheap ticket. So keep that in mind. If you haven't bought your conference ticket, do it. That'll be a game changer for your business. But that is just a little bit about me. I went diamond. It took me like a year and a few months to go diamond. So if you haven't gone diamond yet, don't think it's too late for you. It's not. We're going to go over some stuff in this Zoom about how, we stayed consistent, and our checklist is like chef's kiss, and it will definitely get you to diamond.
100%. I love it. I'm really excited to talk about all of that, because I think that I've done this so long now that sometimes it's almost hard to like simplify it, because it's just become my life. Like everything that I'm doing is just so natural to me, because I've been doing it for so long, that sometimes it's hard for me to just give somebody a list and say, do this, because I just feel like I'm just doing everything all day long. So I remember that one time not long ago, I don't know, I really don't know. Time is nothing at this point in 2020, but we did a Zoom together, and you guys had a really nice task list that you follow every single day. So I have several like non-negotiables that I hit every single day, but do you guys want to share, one of you, the task list that y'all go off of every day?
Yeah. Okay. So we have been sending daily task lists because some things I feel like have changed. We're like really heavily using TikTok right now. And so I've been sending like daily tasks that like include different things, but like this is legitimately what I do every single day. I did this while I was in school. I do this now that it's full time. So like I know you can fit this into your schedule. And so this is, and Britt, if you want to like type it up, like, or sorry.
Yeah, I'll copy and paste it from my notes.
Okay, cool. So this is what I do every single day. So number one is I message everyone back from the day before. Especially if you're building a team, this is going to be super important because it's really easy to just like hop into your daily task and not remember that like you had people yesterday that were like, hey. And so I feel like getting up and messaging back is really important. And that includes like host to post too, like get back to all those people. Number two is, and I do these in order like for a reason. Number two is get on your story and speak. So use a product yourself, use your own results, talk about what this business, if you're new, you can use our results. There's a trillion on Pinterest. There's a trillion in the app. So you can use those. And if you are new as well, talk about the business. And I understand that you're probably like, I don't know what to say. Talk about what it's going to do for you, not necessarily what it's done, because we get it. It hasn't done a thing right now. We get it. We've all been there, but we all also had to talk about what it was going to do at one point too. So if you're new, definitely still talk about the business, even if it's like your second day. Like this girl joined and she was like, I've like made a friend already. I'm like, perfect. Talk about it. Like, it's like the little things. So talk about your business. Personal development. Please don't ignore this. I ignored it for a year, my business. I was like, I don't need someone to tell me anything. Like, I'm annoying. Y'all, it was so bad. And I was wondering why I didn't level up. And straight up, it was because like I wasn't growing my mind. And once you have a team, like you're going to have nothing to pour into them if you're not pouring into yourself. So personal development is super important. These are literally non-negotiables, you guys. I follow 100 on Facebook. I do not do that all at once. You get blocked after about 50, but on Facebook, just give it like 5 minutes and then unblocks you. I'm not kidding. Facebook is so great. Instagram, not happening. Okay. So on Facebook, it's 100. On Instagram, I would say 100. It's 50 to 100 on Insta. You get blocked quicker on Instagram. If it blocks you, just chill out, go to a different social media platform. Okay. And then I message 30 people on Instagram about the opportunity. Instagram is mostly where I build my business. And I heard this the other day when we were talking about this. It's so good, you guys. Your profile, and we'll get to social media tips, but like your profile is going to be what's working for you when you are asleep, which like a freaking light bulb went off my head when I heard that. Like people are going to be creeping on you all hours of the day. And like you could literally be at your 9 to 5 or asleep or with your kid and someone could be on your Instagram. So make it what you want. Like it's almost like the advertisement for you. Make it something that you would like to look at even when you're not around. Okay. And then I message 70 on Facebook. I at least get 5 host to post up. If that takes you 5 messages, please teach me how. Takes me at least 70. So I message 70 and more than 5 is always good. And then I interact on at least 30 plus pictures on Instagram. Like, comment, save. We're like the interaction queens on this right now, you guys. Like we're all in other interaction groups. We all do all the extra stuff. Like, comment, and save each other's pictures and just show love, okay? Because then that gives you more interaction on your stuff. And that is my dailies.
I love it. Britt, you do the same thing, right? You guys do the same tasks?
Yeah, I do the same tasks. I mean, I am her downline, but what I will say, pro tip, you guys, get the shit that you don't want to do over with. Get those things done because the interaction is fun. Interact with all stories that you come across also. That is something I will add because you guys, if you start that message thread, you can't get blocked from messaging. If you start the interaction, you cannot get blocked from messaging them ever again. So you might as well interact with every story that you see on your Instagram. If you're going to be interacting and watching stories, interact with them.
Or you can work smarter, not harder, and like turn it in the shower and like let your stories.
Yes, Lauren likes to put her stories on play while she's in the shower, which I don't blame her. I've done that multiple times. However, if you find yourself getting blocked, start interacting with your stories. If you find yourself sitting there watching Instagram stories, which I know we're all guilty of, you better be interacting. you might as well.
I love it. I do the same thing. I'll leave mine running in the shower. Sometimes if I've had a busy day and I couldn't get on Insta stories, I'll literally like turn the lock screen on and sleep with it on silent and let them run. But one thing that I do when I'm watching Insta stories is it's along the same lines as in the morning when I'm doing like my first power hour. I will see how many stories I can respond to in 10 minutes. And so that really pushes me. Like I'll find the first story from somebody that I can have anything to say at all, and then on to the next person, and really just try to go through and like work on building those relationships. So I love that. That's an awesome list. And I agree, like getting it done as early as possible, because before you know it, it's 4 p.m. and then you're talking yourself out of it and saying that it can wait till tomorrow. And that's how, you know, you end up failing on consistency. And you guys, consistency is everything in this business. If you're consistent, you can be successful. Okay, so I love that task list. Make sure you guys save that in your notes because that is amazing. So we're going to talk a little bit about content planning and different apps that you use. So I use obviously Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are the 3 social media platforms that I use. For photos on Instagram, I personally use Lightroom, and sometimes I use Tezza. I'll spell that in case. I like the filters for videos on that, and I also like Prequel for videos. So those are a few, and yes, Lightrooms with presets. So those are a few. You guys can download those, and they're all very self-explanatory. So if you check those out, I feel like you'll easily be able to see how you can use those apps. But one thing that I realized for me is key on my Instagram. I'll talk about this a little bit, and then I'll let the queens of TikTok talk about that. But Instagram, I feel like my goal is that when you look at my feed, it looks very cohesive. That's the goal there. Because I saw something one time that said most people aren't going to look for longer than 3 seconds at your first 6 pictures. So it needs to be inviting. Your Instagram bio needs to like get to the point. I saw a TikTok one day and I went off that, and I really liked the way that she talked about it. But for Instagram bio, she said, obviously you need your name in that first line, and then talk about exactly what you do and just get straight to the point. So mine says motivated AF and it's contagious. And then I put CEO of Lazy Hustler, which is my other business, and then fitness, travel, words. So if somebody's into any of those 3 things, pretty quickly they can see like this is somebody that I have something in common with. And then I use the presets so that everything looks cohesive. You can find them for really, really cheap, sometimes even free. So it's definitely worth learning how to do, because once I mastered that, I was like, okay, this really takes it to the next level. And then in stories, that's where I'm showing up authentically real, like no makeup, hair's a mess, and I can be really relatable. So you can see both there. Nobody thinks like, if you follow me and you watch my stories, you know you don't have to be perfect to show up on my platform. And I think that that's really helped me connect with people. So those are a couple of my tips about content creating. I keep it simple. Like I'm somehow way busier now that this is full time than I ever was when I had 3 jobs. So I try to just get it done quickly. And I think that, you know, honestly, the least amount of time that I spend in something and just seriously keeping it as authentic as possible, that works best for me. So those are mine. If you guys want to talk about yours.
That's so good, because I feel like you're a little bit about like your bio. I like your bio a lot. And I feel like, no offense to anyone who has this in their bio right now, seriously, I love you guys. But like if you have like coffee dealer, it's just like, just specifically, or coffee babe, or like something like that. Like it's just very obvious what you are,
what you're doing.
And like that's fine, because like be confident in what you are, because like I mean, like this is like my ride or die shit. Like, I'm doing this till I die. Yeah, like, but I think the reason that I get, and like Julia and Brittany get like attraction, is because it's like we're inviting, but like they still have to ask, like they still have to like we make them wonder. And like I think I really like Julia. Like she's on a completely different team, I think. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that I found her profile one day and I was like, this is like my vibe. I loved everything about her profile. And like I just felt very like similar to it, because like she just was very, it's obvious what she does, but it's not at the same time. And there's just so many of us that I feel like if you just put something that kind of makes them wonder a little more, that's when they'll start reaching out to you as well. So that was a really good point. And then as far as content planning, y'all, I'll spend all day on content and I can't do that. When I first started the business, I got to a point where I was like, I need to realize that I'm like literally not like an Adidas influencer. I don't know who I think I am. I spent like hours like posted up taking like all this content. I'm so obnoxious. And then I was like, this is not what's actually paying me. What's actually paying me is showing up like on my stories, making sales, getting people to join, helping them be successful. And so don't panic or take too much time getting your content, you guys. It's also going to come more naturally the longer that you do it. Invest in a tripod. You're not weird. I led my whole other Zoom like last week on like take the damn picture. Stop being afraid to take the picture in public. If it's a cute background, like take the picture. No one's judging you. If they are, you're never going to see them again. Get the content. And if you're really busy, I recommend putting on makeup like once and then changing your shirt. I know Julia does that. I know Brittany does that, and I do that. So just work smarter again. You don't have to like get cute every single day. And then again, you guys, like, don't feel like you have to look perfect on your story, because all three of us are like known as the people that do not always like that just show up. Yeah, like it's more important to me to talk at 8 a.m. than it is for me to talk at 9:30 after I beat my face. No one has time for that. Like, I have something to say now, so I gotta say it now. And if I happen to look good, great. If not, like, I'm still getting my point across. So, and then last tip, you guys, is use the app preview. And you can plan your content. You can literally like, again, like I take multiple pictures at once. And so like it lets you like set up your profile without actually posting to see like what it'll look like. And I always like give this example. Like the last picture I actually uploaded, y'all, is right here. Look at all this. This is coming from me saying we're taking the damn picture. Again, another one.
Literally.
So that's for my content planning.
I mean, I don't really have any other tips because like we all kind of do the same thing. So just don't be afraid to be real and raw with your people too. Like whatever your vibe is, like don't try to be someone you're not. Okay. So like if you want to beat your face every day and you want to get on your story every day looking like a damn dime, go for it. I personally like to beat my face every day. It makes me feel good, makes me feel confident. So if that's your vibe, do that. If you don't care about, getting on your story, making your coffee with, your glasses on and your hair up, that's also me too. But just go with what your vibe is. And that's how you're also going to attract your tribe, you guys. You don't want to work with people that you don't vibe with. Because if you work with people that you don't vibe with, then it's going to be really hard to connect with them and be business partners. Because you want to be business partners and also build a connection so that you guys can have because you're going to have hard conversations with your leaders. It's just inevitable. So make sure that you guys are, showing up as your true authentic self.
I love it. Okay, so we're going to have an honest moment right now. If you're relatively new, you might be feeling this way, but I want you guys to drop a 1 in the comments if just hearing that like overwhelmed you a little bit. 2, if you're good to go. So I'm going to be honest. Like when I first got started, I didn't do any of this, okay? Like when I started, Instagram was like the brown thing. And I don't even think you could DM on it. Like I'm like back in the ancient things. We didn't edit. There was no such thing as presets. There was no live videos, no Insta stories. Like I started from here, that kind of situation. And I'm telling you guys, like, you don't have to be perfect when you get started. So don't get overwhelmed. If you are, like, just take it slow, learn one thing at a time and say, okay, I'm going to start with stories. I'm going to master this and then move on to the next thing. So you don't have to be perfect. Not everything has to be preset. You don't have to look like a blogger, but dive into trainings like this and just focus on mastering one thing at a time. And it's really going to pay off. If you like, when I see my Facebook memories, and it'll be like 4 years ago and it's like black, green, and bling wrapped till I die. And I'm like, oh my God, but it worked, you guys. Like I went diamond doing stuff like that. And I think that that's, it just goes to show that when you're showing up and like you're passionate and you're excited about what you're doing, you really can't do it wrong. And I think just like resting in that comfort will give you guys the bravery to just go for it. So I love those. Those are my favorite apps. We all keep it simple and get right to it. So juggling life and business is going to be our next thing. Let us know in the comments what you do. Like if you have jobs, if you're a mom, what you have going on. So I'm at the point now that I've been doing this full time, and I have a second business. And then ever since I moved back to my hometown, I'm everybody's yes woman. I am a yes woman. Like, I do not know how to say no. It is actually a problem. And so I always have somebody's kid. I'm always like helping somebody out, doing something for someone else. And so that's why I really had to master getting things done early. At one point, I was the kind of person that woke up at 4 a.m. We're at 6 now. I can't do the 4 a.m. thing anymore, but I try to get up at 6 and get my day done before 11 a.m., that I'm actually done with everything that I feel like I have to do so that I can go live my life. And I'm usually able to throw work in between there, and I'll take a couple hours at night. But when I'm done by lunch with everything that I feel like I have to do, and I actually can like take some time off my phone and like look up and enjoy life and like spend time with my family, that for me has been a game changer for my business, because it took me a while to learn any form of balance. Like, it went to the point where I was so obsessed that it was like a 24/7 thing. I felt like I couldn't go eat with my family, couldn't do anything else. And so getting things done early and then being able to like just work it into my day as I'm living my life has been best for me. If you guys want to talk about yours.
That's good. I'm kind of in the, like, I work this psychotic mode. So like, sorry. So for me, you guys, though, I do remember, like, again, like, it's hard to think back when you've been doing this for so long that we all did start with other lives and not just at work's lives. But when I did this, when I was in school, what really worked for me was setting timers and like intentionally working this like a class almost. So I would go to work and then I would come home and set an hour of like on my phone time. When the timer would go off, I'd put my phone in my room and let it charge. I'd set an hour and I would do my schoolwork. And I would just go back and forth. And so now, like Julia said, it's so weird. Like when you start doing this full time, it's like you don't even know where time goes. It's like you're literally more busy. So now I can do this full time, but I still think timers are a good idea. Just it makes you be more intentional. I think the hardest thing about doing this full time is like getting unintentional with it, because you do have like all day to do it. And so I'm a morning person too. I like to get my stuff knocked out. But I also wanted to just tell you guys that it's okay. Like now Julia can like enjoy like herself, but I bet when she like first started, she was grinding because she had a purpose. And so that's like where I'm at. Like I'm at double. I want to hit triple and go all the way to the top. And like that is so important to me right now because I want to set up my life. And so I want you guys to know that it's okay to create boundaries with other people, kind of like going the opposite of what Julia said. Please go hang out with your family and friends. But it's also okay to like say no to like doing things because you're passionate about this and you believe in this. You're not crazy. I'm giving you full permission to like work like that, because this can, I look at it as like I'm gonna give up a little freedom now because eventually like I'm gonna have literally all the freedom in the world. So like then I can do that. Then I'll go hang out with you. Then like I'll take you on my private yacht to Spain. I don't know. But like that's kind of how I see it. So I just want y'all to know, like, if you're like weirdly obsessed with this, same, and like it's a thing and it's okay. And it's also okay to like be passionate about this and tell others like, tonight I really can't, I have a Zoom, you know, like it's okay. And I want y'all to know that. So
Yeah, I kind of have the same. I mean, schedule your life, you guys. If you need to sit down and write it all out, by all means, please do that. That's what helps me. I have to like schedule out my day and I have to make sure that I get my intentional work done. I always do it in the morning because I definitely, like, if I were to have to sit down right now after the Zoom meeting and do my checklist, I would be so mad at myself. And I know every single one of you would be too. So get up, get the hard shit over with, and schedule your life. So like I'm in school, okay? I have, classes and midterms and exams and all the hoopla, okay? I do. And so what I like to do is I will work for an hour and then I'll do homework for an hour and then I'll work for an hour, homework for an hour. And that is really how to be super intentional with what you're doing, because like Lauren said, like it's really easy to get unintentional with your work whenever you have the freedom to do it full time. Like I find it harder now that I have a lot of free time, that this is my full-time job and that I don't have to go nanny. I don't have to go to the church and be a Sunday school teacher and a youth minister anymore. Like I have other obligations to my business, and I find it harder now that I'm not as busy to be strict on my schedule. So if you need to sit down and plan it out, plan it out. If this is the only thing that you have going on, and maybe you've got kids, have the intentional time, like be intentional with their nap time, be intentional with them whenever they're eating, do whatever you have to do to make sure that you're getting all the things that you need to get done with the time that you have.
And I think that's key. Like the three things that we all said in common is that we're intentional. So you are in charge of your time and your life and what you do with it. And if you don't tell your time where to go, it's going to go away. And so like when you decide that this is what I'm doing with my time, it's going to be key. And one of the biggest benefits that's happened in my personal life is all of my friends are in the business. So when I'm saying yes to go eat with my friends, it's known that we're Insta-storing it. We're talking about it. It's business. When I say yes to a vacation, I'm going with my business partners. And so I think that that's one thing that's really underestimated in this business is how much you can find like-minded people that are going to do this with you. And so even my friends from childhood, they're all doing it with me now too. So it's like an entire squad of everybody doing the same thing. And so that really, I think that really helps too in being able to do fun stuff when you get your friends on board. So, or work on making friends that are also in the business. I love that. Okay, so let's talk about how we enroll. I think that's going to be the next whole topic is how we enroll distributors. So I'll say when I first started, I was like a loyal customer machine. I couldn't sign a distributor if my life depended on it, but I could sell some products because that's really why I got started in the business is I had the hair, skin, nails, and I was obsessed with it and it worked so well for me. And so that's what made me jump in completely. And so I was able to sell the products because I had personal experience with them. But as far as the business, it made me nervous. I didn't really know how to approach the situation. And I eventually got to the point when I started making, real money and people could see that and I quit my jobs, then people came to me. But after the point that I got through my warm market, I was back to the point of not really knowing how to enroll distributors until I implemented a system. And so that's what I'm going to share with you guys because this has worked so well for me is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I really drill in about the business. And so I'm talking about it on my Insta story, making a post on it. Mondays, I do Money Mondays. So I talk about one specific way that like the actual money has helped me. So maybe I'm like taking a picture of me at the gas pump or buying groceries or going on a vacation. Sometimes I can, reminisce on something that I was able to buy, but very specific Money Monday. Wednesday is Work It Wednesday. So I'll do something that shows me actually working so that people understand that this is a job, because I think a lot of times the ways that I saw it was like, glorified to look like I do nothing and I get paid a lot. And I want people to know when they join my business that you're going to have to put in work. Like nobody's just going to give you a free check. And I think that that's why sometimes the business gets told to be a scam, because people come in and think that you're just going to get paid for like looking cute on Instagram. And that's just not the case. And then Fridays, I do Freedom Friday. So I talk about some form of freedom that I've been able to have because of the business, whether it's taking vacations or spending time with my friends or family or, something along those lines. And those are the specific days that I do call to action. So it's where I'm specifically, making that broad call of, do you want to partner with me? And this is outside of like messaging and things like this. This is me like talking to my audience in a whole. And so then I created the Google form, the influencer application, and that really honestly changed everything for me because I am not organized. Let me know in the comments if you are organized, but I am chaos. Like every part of my life is chaos. I thrive in it and I think that that's why it works for me, but also I have to have some form of organization because I was missing people. I was losing them in texts and all that kind of stuff. And so creating the Google form and having all my potentials in one spot where I can go back and I can follow up, has been amazing. And also having them answer the questionnaire I feel like I get more serious people. If you're going to go through and read all that and you're going to answer all the questions, then there's a much bigger chance that you're actually going to come in and work. You're not going to spend all that time doing that if you don't give a shit about it. So that was huge for me. If you guys aren't familiar with the Google Forms, I feel like if you're on any of our teams, you probably have heard of it. If not, search your team page. There's probably information on there. But for me, those two little things are key for enrolling.
Yeah, I use Google Forms too. And something I've been really heavily enrolling with is TikTok, you guys. Literally, we went on our leadership retreat, so that's another reason. Like, get together with your people. Get together. If you live in the same city as somebody else on your team and you don't go get content, you're literally missing out on so much opportunity in order to show other people that you are not the only person doing this business. I get so much interaction and so much traction with potential distributors when I'm with my people. So that is a pro tip. Get content with your people and do freaking TikTok. Use cool sounds, use popular sounds, and definitely the Google application, and interact. If you guys aren't interacting with your followers and you're just DMing them straight up like, hey, want to join my business, want to join my team, let's work together, I think you'd be great at it, that's a little confusing, okay? Make sure that you guys are being social on your social media, because if you're not, they're going to be really confused when you get a DM, you know? That's my pro tip.
So good. Yeah, literally, we're all the same person. So kind of going off of what Julia said though, God, I have so many thoughts because they both just took all the words out of my mouth. I don't even know where to start. Okay, one, I got to start with TikTok. TikTok blew up. My TikTok blew up. Julia really is the like OG queen because like she was doing it. What I really like about your TikTok and like what I've like taken from you, honestly, is like being yourself on it too, and like being funny. Like that's what TikTok is for. Please don't take your like self too seriously. And so I really liked that, and I started implementing that. I do think my TikTok blew up because Brittany and I made TikToks together. Like that's the only thing that was different. Pro tip on that: post legitimately 5 TikToks at one time. I don't know why no one has told us that. They've told us everything else, but I listened to Morgan McIntyre, and she's pretty, like all of her stuff usually goes viral. So she posts like 6 at a time, and ever since I started posting 6 at a time, one of them is bound to go viral. Just saying. And if one of them doesn't, you're still getting like at least a decent amount of views on like each one. So add that all together, you're getting more than your Instagram and the random people like from everywhere. So really recommend doing TikTok, y'all. I know like if you're like cringe about it, we all were. Literally, I don't know anyone that was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill this. Like it was the most cringy thing ever. But it's worked so well. Okay, so consistency with that, consistency with showing my face. I love how like Julia talks about different things on different days. I'm the opposite. I've always been a distributor and roller. And my thing is, like, I heard this a while ago and they were like, what's your favorite product to sell? And they were like, the opportunity. I find it easier to sell the opportunity and like what it can do for you over a product, considering like we can try the product in the process. And so that's how I've always looked at it. Basically every LC convo turns into a DT1, just because I'm like, if you're going to try it, you might as well, especially now with the codes that we have, if you get your conference ticket. And so it's on to join the team right now than it is to get a product, unless you're getting like fat fighters only. So honestly, it's just like, I always think it's just such a better opportunity to do it that way. And then again, just letting them know what they're getting into. I had like a ton of DTs join me, and then like usual, like half of them are gonna like quit in the first like two to 3 days, which is fine. That's just the name of the game. But I realize that when I get on my story and I'm super intentional about what I'm looking for in a distributor, I find ones that are actually like more likely to stick around. So I have like all these people to choose from right now, which is really nice. But like, again, you guys, it's the same thing, same numbers game. I signed 57, 20 something are like probably going to fall off. Just like when you sign 3, one of them is going to fall off. So same thing with me. And I think that getting on your story and being like, listen, you're not going to get rich overnight. Like you have the opportunity to, which is the best part. Like all you have to do is join and stay consistent. Like as long as they know that, like you should be successful with enrolling it in distributors, and just be confident with the business, whether it's 99 or 40 for you right now. I joined for 99 and it's been like the best investment of my life. So it's all about being confident, I think, when you are enrolling distributors.
I love it. I was actually going to speak on your confidence. Can you just reiterate how many distributors you signed this month? I just want to hear it again.
57.
That's
Y'all,
insane.
it's stupid.
No, that is so insane. Holy cow. And like most of them are from TikTok, right? Like from,
I would say all of them, 100% all
yeah,
of them are from
that's
TikTok.
insane. And I think too, you were speaking about confidence, is that's one thing that I really like about the both of you, is that you're proud of your business. Like you talk about it with such confidence. And I think when you talk like that, people take you seriously. I think that that's been one of the, like, the main things that I've seen people like be hesitant about is being taken serious. I just wish I could see what I just saw. Anyways, I think that that's, Jesus Christ, I hate it here. I think that that's like one of the biggest things that I see is that people really are worried about being taken seriously. And so I've always talked like this. The two of them talk like this, is that I speak about my business like it's $1 million business, because you guys, it is. Like, people are in the Millionaires Club. Like,
Right.
the girl that I joined with, Juliana, she has walked on the stage. Barb, that's on here, has walked on the stage and gotten a trophy for earning $1 million. Like, you literally have $1 million lottery ticket in your hands. And I'm going to speak about that proudly. And so both of you guys do that. And I think that that's huge on your TikTok, is that you're very direct about it. And I love that. Okay, so let's keep moving. I'm trying to get this done in an hour. Okay, quiz and bio.
Oh, yeah. So I don't have a Google Doc form. They do. I have done a quiz in my bio. So I use SurveyMonkey. I don't know. I don't know why I chose that one. I think it's because, like, I honestly just didn't know how to do a Google Doc when they started doing them at first. So basically same exact thing, you guys. I have the questions set up to where, like, they get scored on them too, so I can see someone's overall score. The higher the score is, the more likely they would, like, do well in this business. Because I have, like, how often do you work now? How often, like, how much do you care about your social media presence? Stuff like that. So either way, I think is a good kind of way to do it.
I love that. I'll have to go check that out. I haven't noticed that and never really heard of it. So that's a cool tip. You guys, you can drop your Instagram in the comments. And then if you guys want to check out her link too, you guys, the Google Forms, I actually initially found out the idea from, like, a Beachbody girl that I saw. That's how I started doing it. But then I reformulated mine by just looking at other leaders and seeing what I liked about theirs. Don't be shy to do that, you guys. You can go look at any of ours and use, like, the framework, put it in your own words, put your own story in there. And I think that that is a really good way to do it. So being personable, I think that just by being on this Zoom, you guys have seen that, like, we're laid back. You're going to get what you get. And the person that you see on my Insta stories is going to be the same person that trains you. I actually don't know how to be anything other than myself, and it gets me in a lot of trouble because I'm so direct, and I feel like I'm misunderstood a lot because I'm just going to say what's, like, on the front of my mind, and it's not always a good thing. But I'm personal, and I think that that works best, because if you vibe with me, you're going to vibe really hard with me. And if you don't, like, I just won't be your person, and it's okay with me. And I think that that's why our team is such, like, a tight team of people that work really hard and well together. And I think that just works. And I feel like you guys are probably the same on that. Okay, so training and launching newbies. We're going to try to turn this out, but this is the system that I do. It's been working for me a little bit better than anything I've tried so far before. And so I have a, like, text replacement system that I follow. I get them signed up. I send out, it might come here. Yeah, it does. So I send this. It's a little bit long, but I have them go. It usually is, like, bullet points. I have them go through and do these things. And at this point, I know if somebody is going to take it seriously or not, because if they're going to read all of this and do this, then this is the person that I'm immediately charting Ruby. This is the person that I'm immediately going out to. If they don't, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to follow up with them. But I know that if you're going to start doing this, like, you're going to be all in. You guys can feel free to use that if you want. If it's too long for you, you don't have to, but I do this system every time. So after they do that, I have them do a second thing, which is I have them take some pictures. That's what has really worked for my business. And so these are things that it's not something that they have to do, but I know that if they follow these steps, that they're serious. And so it's really about me finding the people that I know I need to run closely with. So I'll just put these here, and then I'll kind of talk about them really quick. Whoops. Sorry. It's remembering all these for me. Okay, so the first one is just, like, it's housekeeping, how to log into your eSuite, how to make sure you're on the team page, the apps that you need to download if you want to be in the group message. That's essentially what that says. Step 2 is I have them take some crisp pictures of themselves. A lot of people who join the business have never actually had their picture, like, taken. It's like rough selfies, mirror selfies, and things like this. And so it's a picture that their audience isn't used to seeing, that in the phase 3 have them attach their why to. So it's something that usually catches attention because people are like, oh, that's a nice picture of Kelly. And then they're like interacting on it. And that tends to go pretty well. And then the 4th one is like, let's get to work. I have them make a chicken soup list, which is essentially just like reaching out to your friends and family. And then after that, I just throw people into the fire. Like, you're on the Zooms, we're working together. You can text and ask me all the questions, FaceTime me. But that system tends to work for me. So you guys can talk about yours.
I feel like ours is kind of similar.
Yeah.
I've actually never, it's so interesting because like you probably are the only other person I'm this close to that like really isn't on our team. So it's really cool to like see how you do it. Basically, I guess it's the same for me. I would say I don't do the picture thing, which is a really good idea because a lot of people will come at you and be like, I don't have a picture to post, and then never post their first pic. And it's like, okay. So I guess that's a really good idea. But for me, I train through like text message. Everything is screen recorded, y'all. How to get your link up, screen recorded. How to send a, like, place an order, screen recorded. Like fail proof, screen recorded. And then I'll still answer questions. I train all the way till the point of like them kind of being done with their dirt list, because I feel like that's where like it's kind of a hard transition. You're like, so like what now? And then I do like Instagram
Training.
or social media training essentially on the phone, because I feel like that can get overwhelming if I'm like, I message 100, I do 100. Like I feel like they'd be like, hell no. So I usually call them over the phone and I like actually explain like how I do 100. I don't just sit down like a psychopath. Like I split it during my day, yada yada. My biggest tip, you guys, though, on training someone, and I've recently like been reminded of this because I have 57 people at once, you have to treat them how, with everything that you were treated with. Hopefully you had a good upline, but I feel like if you're on the Zoom, you probably did. But like, if they're pissing you off, please be patient with them, because y'all piss us off all the time. And we are so patient with you. Okay. Seriously, you are no better. Like, you don't have really the right to be like, who do they think they are? And like, just be quiet, be thankful, and be a good leader, and be nice, and be kind, and lead from the front. Number 1 tip. Your team knows exactly what you're doing. You can lie and say that you're working. They will be able to tell through your post. They'll be able to tell through how you talk, and they're going to do exactly what you do. You cannot get mad at your team if they're not working, if you're not putting in 100% effort. So lead from the front. It's so obvious, and it's the easiest way to lead, because then like when someone's like, how do I seal the deal? You don't have to go look in 2007 inbox to see the last time you made a sale. Like, you like, hold on 1 second, I'll show you right here. I just had this conversation. So definitely sealing the deal, showing them everything. And then y'all, training distributors and building your team is literally 100% up to you. Like, if you, again, like I got 57 people, but like, how intentional am I about to be with these 57 people? Because all 57 could quit if I don't text them back, if I don't stay excited for them. But do you realize that it only takes 3 people underneath you really wanting this for you to go ambassador? Only 3. So if you work smart now, you guys, you don't have to work as hard in the I don't want to have to enroll 57 again in 1 month. I would rather not, really. That was a lot. Like, I would just rather not. So like, how about I take like the few that are wanting to do this right now and run with them? It's not a constant struggle of having to rebuild. Just invest in the people that you have, and they'll run with you. You only need 3.
So I think that the duplication of leadership is really important, and that can be done in training, you guys. That can be done with your newbies, the duplication of leadership. Make sure that you are, like, I like to treat my newbies like they're my best friend. Like, I literally want to know, I'm a blue, okay? I'm a blue and a red. So I like to be their person that they can literally ask anything to. Like, there is no such thing as a stupid question. There is no such thing as, feeling like you don't know what you're doing. You don't. I didn't. And I literally, when I tell you guys, I used to send screenshots to Lauren. Like, I literally didn't know how to have a conversation with a human being. Okay. Like, do that. If that is you, don't be afraid to do that. We as leaders would much rather you do that than for you to say something that you don't feel confident in saying and ruin the conversation, and then you get stuck and you don't know what you're doing. Like, we can pull you out of the sticky situation. So just know that you can go to your upline and send the screenshots and send, you know, the voice memos and be like, yo, I literally don't know what to say to this. Like, how do I go about this? Don't feel afraid to do that if you're a newbie. And that's what I like to talk about with my newbies. I, of course, get on the phone with them too. So just be super intentional with your time and your duplication. Like I said, you can duplicate leadership within your newbies. They are ready to run. If they join this business, make sure you know their why. Write it down on their chart that you have in front of you, and make sure that they have it as well. And remind them of that all the time. Remind your newbies of their why. Like, why are you guys even here? Like, remind yourself of that too. That's really important.
Yeah, I do the same thing. That's one reason that I have them send me their why too, which I'm sure you guys do the same thing, is like when somebody's ready to quit, I'm like, oh, but what about that house you said you wanted for your 3 kids? And it's a reminder, because you guys, it's exciting when you first get started and you're doing your thing and you're enrolling, and then you have that week where you haven't signed anybody and everything's really hard and you got a mean comment and you're like, all right, I can't do this. And when you have that why drilled into your head, you guys, that's what's really going to push you forward and keep you going. A few tips that I think can be helpful for everybody is help me help you. Like I told you guys, I thrive in chaos. Don't be shy. Text your upline twice if you have to. Say, take me seriously. Say, can I FaceTime you? Like my newbie, I think that she's on here today, but she was like, can I FaceTime you? I get so excited. Like I want to help you. But also I'm doing 8 million things. So be bold and say that you need help if you need help. And I think that that's basically what they said. And then the trainings, you guys, we put these together because this is the best way that we can train you guys. When we have a training where we're all sitting down and we're talking to everybody at once, like it's huge. And then you can hop on the training, learn everything that you can. If you have questions, then text your upline after. But if you show up to these trainings, you are going to go up. Like you're eventually going to hear one thing that's going to click for you. And I think that that's what happened to me is I would get on every single training. Like I would listen in the car. If I couldn't be on it at the moment of it, I'm listening to it like in the shower. I was doing everything I could to stay plugged in. And it was like, I really, at this point, I can't remember because it was 5 years ago, but my upline said like one sentence, and it was just the way that she said it in that moment with how I was feeling, and a switch like flipped in me, and I was full speed ever since. And I think that if you're showing up to every single one, the chances of you hearing that one sentence for you, they're multiplied. So show up to go up. And I think that that's key too, is, you know, really plugging into everything that's offered to you. Do you guys have anything to add to that? If not,
Totally agree. That was so good.
Okay. It is important. Daily team management. So if you're on here at this point, you're already a leader. So put I'm a leader in the comments, because you need to think of yourself as that way. It doesn't matter if no one's on your team yet. You're leading a team, and that's your team, and you're working on building that. And you need to speak that into existence, and you need to think about yourself that way, because these people are going to be joining you and trusting you. So think of yourself as a leader. Show up as if you have an ambassador team already, so that people are excited to learn from you. I think that that's going to be key. And so as far as team management, I am a lead from the front kind of person. I don't micromanage. I'm not the person that's going to text you every day and beg you to work. I try to answer every single question that I get, but I'm not the person that's texting you in the morning that says, get up and get to work, because nobody has ever done that for me, because I don't need it. You know, I don't need that to be done, because I joined this business for me. I didn't join and everything. I didn't join for her. I joined for me, and I joined because I needed this and I wanted this for my life. And you guys hopefully joined for the same reason. Like you did this for you. And over the last 5 years, I've had to figure out how to discipline myself, because nobody's going to do that for me. And I heard this, I did a training on my team page the other day, but this like has just really settled with me. And it said that effort over a prolonged period of time of at least a year turns into momentum, and momentum is money. And that like really clicked with me, is that I'm putting in effort every single day. That's how I manage my team. You can bet your ass that I'm going to show up. And so you're going to feel challenged to show up too. You're never going to have to worry if I'm not doing anything. Like I'm going to outwork you. And that's how I've always led my team from the jump, is that you can know I'm going to be doing my thing, and I'm going to expect the same from you. And I think that that's how I've probably built a team full of Reds, but it works for us. And that's how I manage. I do lives and things like that, and Tuesday, Thursday Zooms. But for the most part, I'm just working my business and they're watching.
So good.
That's so good.
Leading from the front always, you guys. And daily team management, I just have like obviously checking in with your team. I think it's something really special that we all take for granted. We were talking about this on the retreat the other day. We were all out there. We were like, how many other like one of your friends actually texts you good morning every morning? And it's like, good morning, like, how'd you sleep? Like, that's like some weird shit that we do. Like, why? I don't know why, but like, that's just like what we do. And like the people that like you know and get to know are going to become your best friends for real. And you just want to make sure that you do check in with them. You don't let it get comfortable, because again, at the end of the day, this is your business. And there's such a fine line between friendships and business. I definitely think you need both, but like you have to be able to like turn it off and really understand that like this is for you and only you. And again, like that's something you have to realize too as you're building your team. People are going to like fade off, and that's okay. This is not for every single person. But you definitely have to be giving everyone a fair chance, but also like let it go if it has to be let go. That's just too much energy taken from you, where other people need it and need to be focused. So one thing I do want to share with y'all, if y'all are starting to sign people and someone's kind of falling off, my upline always told me is message them and be like, hey, either way, do this or not, it's going to be okay. Still appreciate getting to know you, but I need to know because like other people on my team really need and want this money. So just let me know where you stand either way. And I think like giving them the either way option always makes it a lot easier. And then just like housekeeping stuff, writing down everyone you're talking to. I've made like a running list of my distributors. You can also write down like what they've done, like added to the Facebook page, posted their first post, all the way up into got shopping spree. It's a really easy way to like look at your DTs and check off who's done what and whatever. And then I would just say counting volume is really important, keeping up with your own volume. I know that's like one of the really crappy parts that like all of us hate doing. But especially as you start to grow, y'all just need to knock it out on like the first of the month, check it again on the 15th, and then add as you go. Like make a sale, add it to your chart. If you're not looking at your chart, you really are aimlessly working. And I've aimlessly worked for months at a time. So like I understand even being afraid of a chart and being like, I don't even want to see like what that's looking like. But you're the only person. Exactly. If you're going to take, and this is what I've learned being a leader, you guys, if you're going to take credit for your wins, you better take credit for your losses. And you are the only person that will get you back to winning. You're the only person that got yourself there. It's not your DTs that quit. It's your attitude and the fact that you like didn't do what you needed to do to replace them or whatever. Take responsibility for your actions and know that like if you've gotten yourself into a hole, you can easily dig yourself back out. Only you though, and you have the tools. You just have to be confident in that, and it's not too late. This business, you can build it from scratch all over again, over and over and over again. That's literally what we do. So that's just my tips. And
my tip is really short and sweet. I am a very solution-minded person, and I like to duplicate that. So I will check in with my leaders. I have a Ruby and above group chat, and I check in with every single one of them individually, and I ask them, what's working, what's not. I help them manage, their new DTs. And I am kind of a micromanager, so I'm different from Julia in that sense. I enjoy micromanaging. I enjoy being in the know of what the hell's going on because, like, quite frankly, it does involve me. So I like to check in with my leaders, and I like to make sure that we're like being solution-minded together, because I think that it can be really easy to kind of look at all the things that are going wrong. And if you kind of step back and check in with your leaders in terms of, okay, well, what is wrong? How can we fix it? And what are we going to do to be solution-minded? That is duplication of leadership. And that is exactly what you want from your leaders and what you want them to also then go do with their people. Because if you can't duplicate leadership, I mean, how are you going to grow the business to get to the top? You know what I'm saying? Because if you can grow leaders, you can grow a team, and you can grow a team of leaders. And that's important, especially in terms of building a stable business. If you guys really want a stable business, because you can keep rebuilding, you can keep enrolling, but the stability is what I think is important.
I freaking love it. And I think that that's that's exciting too, is the fact that we're all very similar, but we still have things that are different for our different personality types that work well. And that just goes to show you guys that, like, I don't have to do the exact same thing that Brittani does, and she doesn't have to do the exact same thing I do for it to work effectively for both of us. So figure out your system and just do it consistently, and that's what's really going to work for you. And I think that when you find a system that's actually personalized to you, you become much more successful, because if she's somebody who thrives off managing and being close with people and is trying to do it my way, then she's going to feel that disconnect and not be able to grow her team in that way. So really just figuring out what works best for you and going full force with it. So that's all I have for you guys. I was thinking that maybe we can leave everybody with one thing. Do you guys have one thing that you want to leave the crew with?
Stop selling yourself short. Don't break promises to yourself, you guys. If you tell yourself you're going to take this seriously, actually take it seriously and actually get to work. Don't break those promises to yourself.
I think mine. Oh, you go.
Oh, you go.
Mine literally came from a Zoom that I was on with Sherry Alcala the other day. I think I probably just butchered her name, but she literally told us, she was like, you need to make a decision. And for some reason, something that simple really just stuck with me. But she was like, you have to make a decision. If you're not making a decision to do something, you're never going to get it done. And I think that at this point, like, I've sat at Triple for over a year, and it just came down to the point where I wasn't actually making that decision, because it's a little bit scary when you've maintained for a while, and so the chart's not exactly there and you're working on different things. And so she was like, you have to make a decision and then go for it. And so I was able to get land because of the business. I bought land, and I just haven't been able to be bold enough to say, okay, I'm going to start building my house at this point, because in my head I told myself, like, we can't do that until we go prez. And so she was like, you need to make a decision. And so I made the decision in my head, and then I decided I'm going to tell this to Facebook, and people hold me accountable. I don't know about your followers, but my followers remember everything that I say. And so I was like, if I tell these people that I'm going to build a house in March, then I have to make it happen. And so I challenge you guys to make a decision. If you need to go diamond or double diamond or whatever, to quit your job or stay home, make that decision and tell people and hold yourself accountable. Like Brittani was saying, don't break promises to yourself. When you make that decision, make it and mean it. And I think that will change everything for you guys.
100%.
I was just going to say, I think the coolest thing about the business is the fact that it's not if, it's when. Like, we truly have everything here. All the money is there. I don't know where Mark keeps it. I would love to see that hideout, but like, it's there. He's waiting to like give it to us, you guys. And every single person that's at the top, you hear the same thing. Their story literally just boils down to, I didn't give up, because we get told no too. Our team quits on us too. We feel discouraged too. We have life too. Like, we just don't give up on it. And the reason I don't is because I know it's going to happen. There's no way it's not going to happen for me if I keep on working this business day in and day out. I've been doing that for 2 years, and I'm double. So what, 2 more to climb the same amount of ranks? I'm like halfway there. I would love to do it for 2 more years to get to ambassador. And so like, that's just so exciting, you guys. And that's why I'm so confident about it, because like, I know if you join and you work, you will make money fast. Like, big facts. Like, that's how confident I am in it. So just work that way, you guys, and don't give up, and know, like, if you are doing the work, it's going to pay off. Just be consistent with it. Don't give up on it.
I freaking love it. Somebody said once at a conference that if you knew it was going to take you 10 years to become a millionaire, you'd probably stick it out the 10 years. And that's how I feel. I'm like, I don't really give a shit if it takes 12 years. Like, if I'm going to be a millionaire in 12 years, like, I'm down to do it. So this was amazing. Thank you guys so much. I really loved it. If you guys will do me a favor, and if you had an aha moment or something that stuck out to you, post it on your team page, share it with your team. I love reading those. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Thank you guys.